Hey, John Crestani here. Let me know where you're coming from in the world. Let me know what you're selling online. Today we're going to be going over the OG of affiliate marketing. We're going to go over an interview with him. I love interviews, and this is going to be a treat. I haven't seen this one yet, but AI has clipped this out for us, as you see, and we're going to go through the clips. As always, I'm going to share this with the chat. Good to see you, Wolf Warrior. And we're going to go through this. So let's begin. So this is Jason Akateef. He runs one of the biggest affiliate networks in the world. They do a lot of lead gen, and he runs A4D. And we're going to start off with
10 years ago, I would find one ad that would work on Facebook, and I'd spend $3 million against it. And it would just run for 6 months or a year.
Yeah.
And now, a great ad spending $2,000 to $10,000 a day, you're gonna burn out in a week most of the time. It just doesn't last.
Hey guys, this video is sponsored by...
So I think that's a pretty good point. You know, what we're seeing is just absolute, you win by putting out creatives. Okay. He's saying that good ads burn out faster. I'm not sure if that's the algorithm getting better and just getting more targeted and better ROI in the beginning and then petering out, but you definitely need to be throwing up tons of ads to make affiliate marketing work with paid advertising. Let's go to the next clip.
I stumbled across an ebook, and it came with an ebook, a forum, and a package of Perl scripts. It was called Search Engine Cloaker. And the book was whatever, and the scripts were whatever. But the community in the forum, there were people in there making real money, and that really inspired me to want to go deeper into this business. Keep in mind, there was no affiliate summit.
What really helped me get started, I think what Jason's saying is when you surround yourself with people doing well, making big moves and making lots of money, you're going to get inspired, but you're also going to learn like really important tactics. How I got started in affiliate marketing was I actually stacked that money forum. Way back in the day, there was this, there still is this forum, the Stack That Money forum. And I got started on here in the follow along section, just seeing what other people were doing on this forum was incredible to me. And it really helped accelerate my transformation into going from 4 years of not making money in affiliate marketing to making lots of money, hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. Now, I've created my own community. If you guys want to join, very similar, modeled after Stack That Money. You can join in links in the description. What Stack That Money evolved into was the Affiliate World Conferences, actually. It's the same company. And this is now, if you want to meet the top affiliate marketers, you go to the Affiliate World Conferences. This is just the event you need to be at if you want to see if you want to learn about the cutting edge of affiliate marketing, traffic sources, offers, etc. Let's keep going onwards. But I guess the thing is, proximity is power, folks. Surround yourself with other successful people that are doing, not just talking about marketing and whatnot. Okay, so this next clip is about building a brand in affiliate marketing. And Jason Akateef, I would say, if anybody has the strongest brand, it's this guy.
They would just get hammered in every direction. But, I always tried to have a brand of supporting and helping other people become better, right? Like, I'm an entrepreneur at heart. Like, I want to see everybody around me succeed and learn and grow and make connections. And so, like, I would always try to be the voice of reason why everybody else was the trolls on that forum. And then that led me to, I used to do a lot with what I called project partners, and there was one platform called Direct Track It was like $20,000 a month to run it. And, but, you know, it was like, oh, let's consolidate all this together. And, you know, from years of helping people on forums, you know, that about 2,000 media buyers signed up with us in one day. And all of a sudden I was in the network business, which I never really intended to be. It was more just a consolidation platform to work with.
So what he's saying is he built an affiliate network. He built up a good brand first before he built an affiliate network. Jason Archetypes has been, you know, I don't know when he started his affiliate network, but it was over 10 years ago. So that's interesting. But, you know, I think one of the interesting points here is he took a big leap. You know, $20,000 a month was what he spent to get affiliate software, you know, to have the software to build his affiliate network and to manage the payouts and the tracking and all that stuff. That's a pretty big chunk of change. I don't care where you are, you know, what position you're in, but he took the leap and he built a business that does something like $50 million to this day, and he has a yacht company. So I think that's a good proof and point. Take the leap if all the signs are pointing to a certain direction. Let's keep going. The 4 archetypes of media buyers. Okay. This is interesting. And folks, by the way, if you are a clipper, if you are an affiliate, if you want to be reposting any of this information, if you need content to repost on your channels, there is a link on this page that I've shared in the chat to download all clips, both horizontal landscape mode and portrait mode. You go to here, you click here, and you go into the, which folder is it? You know, one of these, affiliate marketing OG folder, has all of the links.
Mental thing. That's not to say that those people couldn't spend a lot more. They're good media buyers. But I think there's some level of inherent fear and risk taking in media buying. And, you know, I think us as a company, we're like, hey, don't lose too much money, right? Like, that's inherent. So I think you want, as your media buyers, you want them to be kind of competitive risk takers, but you don't want them to really be gamblers. And when I look at an affiliate as well, affiliates typically bucket into a handful of things that make them amazing. You've got your person that like knows nothing about development and is terrible with numbers, but they're amazing with creative. And then you ask them, like, how do you buy? They're just like, I don't know. I just set it up on the CBO.
The Chad method.
Yeah, the Chad method. I set it up on a CBO. I make some badass creatives. I look at some CTRs. And if it's good, I go all in, right? And sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. You know, I know some publishers that are like, you know, they're so far along in their career, single guys that are like, I don't know, I'm going to spend $20,000 on this placement buy for one day. I think it's going to work, right? That takes a certain degree, right? So, like in this game too, like you've got this statistical significance thing, right? So it's like, oh, I spent this amount of money, it didn't work, I'm going to pull back. But like if you look at it from a truly mathematical, statistical analysis standpoint, maybe you need to spend 10 times as much money, because you're still within the tolerances of statistical significance to have it way underperform.
Yeah.
Right. And that's, you know, we do a lot in tort, and leads in tort are $100 to $500, you know, and so realistically to test something, you probably need to spend $20,000 just to test.
To really test it.
Yeah. And that's like a creative and an audience, right? And so you can get really knee-jerky in that stuff. So number one, you've got that great creative person. Then, and these people exist less and less with AI, But then you've got that hacker. And the hacker is really good at figuring out bidding strategies and the algorithms. Sometimes those hackery people are great at finding other niche unknown traffic sources that are super profitable for them. But they're very hackery in their mindset. Back in the olden days, was things like, hey, there was a kind of, I don't even know if it still exists, but like on Taboola, like if you bid.
He's going over some of the different archetypes of media buyers, and there's all different types of media buyers. There's different types of people who become successful in affiliate marketing. Affiliate marketing is simply selling other people's products online. If you want to get into affiliate marketing, I'm assuming most people here have followed me for a while, but if you haven't, you can go to the link in the chat, and the very bottom link has a link to join my affiliate program at digistore.com. But what Jason's saying is that there's some affiliates are horrible with numbers. I'm very good with numbers. But many affiliates I see that are very successful aren't always the best with numbers. You don't have to be, but they're great with creatives. And one student of mine who's absolutely fits this stereotype to the T, he even does legal leads, is a great interview on my channel with Ronnie Sandlin. And this guy has gone on to make millions of dollars. I'm going to share his story here in case anybody wants to check it out. I think it's somewhere in the, here he is. This is absolutely an example. I'm going to share this in the chat because this guy is an example of absolutely, literally, this guy doesn't look at a single number. He's just like, what did I spend? What did I make? Did I make profit? He doesn't even look at the numbers every day. But his creatives and his copywriting are so absolutely amazing. This guy wins. This is how this guy makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a month. And I'm gonna throw that video in the chat there. This guy literally went to jail for he went to jail for political stuff, but I'm not gonna go deeper into that. Let's keep going back to Jason's thing, the hacker mentality. And let's go into this next clip, the pattern that made everything scale. Okay. Actually, I'm going to give one more note on the hacker type. One of the ways I made a lot of money in affiliate marketing was hitting unknown traffic sources before everybody knew about them. And back in I think this was 2014, I was doing native ads on sites like Rev Content, Taboola, Outbrain, AdsKeeper, My Likes. And this is an actual interesting thing. I went out and I would look for traffic sources and I would simply copy ads that were working on Facebook over to other traffic sources. A very easy way to make a lot of money in affiliate marketing. Facebook is going to be one of the more competitive spaces, obviously, but you just move ads over. And what I did was I simply moved my ads over to this old ad network called My Likes, which isn't around anymore. And I was able to spend $2,000 a day. Not a lot, but I was able to make back consistently $5,000 every day for months running on a unknown traffic source. And you do the math, it adds up to hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Because on some of these unknown traffic sources, you just get a real easy path. Now, the only way to figure these things out is to test, okay? And that's part of the reason why media buyers, if you want to make it in the affiliate game as a media buyer, you got to be a competitive risk taker. You can't be a sissy. You can't be looking for the guaranteed automated campaign. You want to make I've been doing a couple different. I've been following a couple different affiliates. If you look at my videos this week of guys making hundreds of thousands in a month or even a day, right? And the only way you get there, and really the only way I think you get anywhere in life, got to be a competitive risk taker. Let's go on to the next clip, clip number 7, where Jason talks about the pattern that made everything scale. And folks, if you want to check out the full interview that we are going over on this session, make sure to check out the full link here. Hey, Fit Wealth Coaching, good to see you here. Let me know if there's any questions or anything you want to go over.
It's typically thousands and thousands of nuanced, hacky things and it's typically lots of testing, but then it's like, these 3 things is what made that whole deal work, right? And so you got these like hacker-minded people that are constantly testing and tinkering and tweaking. And then you've got like the other group of people is just really good pattern recognition analyst type people where, they might come in and they'd look at all of my media buyers running, and they'd find some pattern, and then they'd go and they implement that pattern, and it would just scale, right? I've seen these people be extremely successful, and very rarely does a creative person, a hacker, or, right? So the more that you can build up those different skills that cross over or find a partner that, complements those skills, the higher probability
that's the one that usually
success.
Wins big.
Yeah.
So he's saying another archetype in affiliate marketing is the analyst, right? The analyst looks at numbers. The analyst looks at a process. The analyst says, how can I rearrange the people so that we are pumping out, between our contractors and Notion or Slack or whatever, we're pumping out hundreds of creatives a day and we're uploading them to Facebook, or we are, testing better offers, or we are cutting budgets faster, right? Because when you're doing media buying, inherently you're spending money to receive back data. You're going to lose some money up front when you start being a media buyer affiliate. Obviously, the upside is you don't have to do customer service. You don't have to run a traditional business. You don't have to do sales calls. You don't have to have relationships. Nobody needs to know who you are. You can get the money sent anonymously to any bank account in any world you want. Now, let's keep going on to the next one. So, help everyone, the networking secret. Let's see what he has to say.
Part of my thought process and methodology of this industry is like, did I just help everybody all the time and I give away as much help and information as I possibly can? Because you never know how it's going to come back, and it's not like tit for tat, or it's just like putting good out there with people you feel you can trust and aren't going to go put it all over the internet.
This guy gives out more value than anybody in the affiliate marketing space. And I think it's one of the reasons why he's built up such a big affiliate network over the years. Also, this guy is deeper in AI than almost anybody I know. And if you are experimenting around at the edges with AI and you want to join a free community, it's high pressure though. You have to post. You have to add value every day if you want to be a part of his free community. I'm going to drop the link where you can sort of trace him back. You can add him on LinkedIn right there, and he'll occasionally, here, I'll post it on here. And on his LinkedIn, he will occasionally drop links to his group chat, which where he talks about building affiliate campaigns, ads, landing pages, and everything with AI. So he has some post in here. I'm not going to find it, but it's one of the ways you can join a little hidden community. And guys, if you like getting these tips and resources, throw down some reactions in the chat, or throw down some likes or whatever you guys do, because, not this stuff isn't being shared widely on the internet. The internet doesn't want a lot of this information being shared widely. We're entering a new era. We are detaching, folks. Us cyborgs are detaching from the rest of the hobbyist computer users that are trying to make money. So let's go on to the next clip. Help everyone, guys. You know, add value. There's more than enough for everyone to go around. So, you know, always be.
Like, you do all the tweaks you want, and if your ad sucks, you will not make money. Your ad has to be a banger in order for you to make YouTube work. Period. Right? And so there's no like hacking stuff to do. Where Twitter there still is, and some other smaller channels there is.
So what he's saying is that YouTube, let's bring this up here. YouTube ads, not for hackers, right? Why is YouTube ads not for hackers? I don't know if I agree with this statement, by the way. But what Jason is saying is it's not for hackers because YouTube ads is all about the creative. Okay. Now, I've seen people, you know, we covered some interviews earlier this week where folks are talking about how they simply took the video sales letter from the offer owner themselves and just took that VSL and dropped it onto YouTube and ran it. Okay? It's a little creative, but they're not creating a video. So I don't necessarily agree with what Jason's saying, but but he has a point, is that if you want to compete on a video-based platform like YouTube Shorts, YouTube ads, TikTok ads, you have to have a banger video ad creative to be successful there. And spending time on a good video ad creative is absolutely very important. Now, what I encourage my students to do in the AI Marketers Club, right? We have AI experts in there, which are video editors and all sorts of stuff. But what I encourage my students to do is actually download Comfy UI. You know, I'm teaching Terminal UI, but Comfy UI is free. Okay, it's free. There's many models available, and it allows you to create with AI video ads. Okay. The other thing that we package inside of my software Bonfire terminal is we're also packaging Blender, right? And Blender is something you guys can download free. It's free and open source, and it's a fully featured video editor that you can really do anything with. Okay, so there's no barriers to entry to good creative anymore because AI can create it. What's up, Hot Wheels Jeff? How's the collection going? Okay, let's move onwards and upwards. Let's go into clip number 10. This is a long interview, so we're going to have a number of clips here. But the post iOS changes. And folks, let me know if I'm doing too much commentary or too much playing the video.
In platform rather than out of platform. So how are you getting on the right audience in platform via your creative? And also it depends on what you're running. In the olden days, we ran a lot of just clickbait type ads, right? Just get clicks as cheap as you can,
yep.
And then put them into some sort of a funnel, and then starts pruning them out. And at least for what we do on the tort side, it is fairly micro niche people. There's very small, qualifying audiences for it. We're trying to get on the right audience right on the front end. So, I think there's a lot of opportunity in things that maybe only worked on search in the past, but will work on Facebook now. But you do have to do it through creative.
Okay, we're going to go on to the next clip, but the key takeaway I got there, I don't know if you picked that up, but I mean, this guy's working in a small niche. It's legal, right? Tort leads. What are tort leads? they pay a lot of money, and there's tens of millions of dollars a year, even in a micro niche. A lot of folks say, what product do I start with? I tell people it doesn't freaking matter. Choose something you like. You know, my video, my most viewed video on this channel, I'm teaching people Amazon, which is silly. It's like the silliest affiliate method. Yet it's the video that gets the most views because it's, you know, Amazon. The point is, micro niches. It doesn't matter what you pick, folks. There's money. Once you are connected, once you are connecting people through the internet, there's so many people you can't even fathom it. Okay, get ads up. Let's go. Let's go on to the clip number 11, where he's talking about no agency could match his results for 5 years. And I'm assuming he's talking about working with legal clients. And folks, if you want to join his affiliate network, I'm going to plug Jason's affiliate network right here. It's a4d.com. This is his affiliate network if anybody wants to apply and join. Okay. Let's go onwards to how no agency could beat his results for 5 years. Let's listen.
It's like attention spans. It's just everything moves fast.
Everything. Well, people are more educated. You know, it was like, keep in mind, like 10 years ago, an agency, it was all about branding and Coca-Cola and TV, right? And so they're like, what is this kind of like hacky advertorial thing, right? Or we look at UGC now and all the big brands are doing it, but like in the beginning, they're like, oh, we only want professional actors that represent our brand well. And it took them a long time to figure these things out. But, you know, as they've figured those things out, they've become more progressive into whatever else is evolving. And so that just like...
This is a good illustration of the dissonance of corporate America. Okay, what is this hacky advertorial thing? Big brands and big marketers cannot comprehend, and even small guys, most marketers cannot comprehend how a longer funnel with a lot of copy actually works to sell. But it's because of what I call the inception effect. When folks receive a story within a story within a story, the brain clicks off as it jumps from different contexts and gets involved in the story rather than the logical sort of, if anybody studies triune brain theory, but the logical brain clicks off and it goes into the emotional brain and it allows the marketer to craft the narrative. Advertorials are especially powerful in marketing, and it's one of the reasons why, but overall pre-sell pages. And what I've been teaching and other big affiliate marketer, media buyer trainers have been teaching forever, and it still works, is add to landing page to offer. Now, when you join, or if you are inside the AI Marketers Club, you can go to the Affiliate Center, and we have advertorials for our affiliates ready to go. You can download them. We have a whole resource center, and you can download this advertorial. Here's a preview of it. It loads fast, and you have templates that you can work off of. Right, clear instructions. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to start a new window right here. There we go. Okay. Let's go to his next clip. You need 75 creatives per week. So we've been seeing some marketers talk about you need hundreds of creatives a day.
I'm going to be at $2 million a month in revenue through this channel. And it's like, cool, you're going to need 75 creatives a week in order to build that and sustain that.
And that's unique, not variations of one.
Yeah. And sometimes variations, like a blend, probably 30% totally new, images mixed with video,
everything.
like everything blended together. But you just need this creative throughput, and then you got to have the stomach, and you got to, as you build up this creative throughput, you've got to have enough running in order to test all that creative as well. Because you can't just take 75 creatives and throw it in next week. You're going to lose a ton of money. So you got to build up. But like as you're building up, you just got to build more and more and more and more creative. And as an affiliate, like I'm in Photoshop making 3 ads a week that I think are going to be bangers, and one of them hits, and I got a payday, and it's not real anymore. And so.
So he's referring. So what the clip was about how you need 75 creatives per week to scale, right, to $2 million a month. That's totally true. I mean, back in the day, back in 2012, 2013, 2014, when I was beginning affiliate marketing, you didn't need to launch a ton of creatives. Exactly what he said, 2 to 3 little images that you edit together a week, could work. You didn't need to launch a lot of images or videos or ads. But in order to actually make advertising work nowadays, you need to be a creative monster. You need to be pumping out new ads, new variations, be looking at and just testing. Now, notice that he said variations. The guy said variations or unique. Okay? That's sort of an interesting phrase he said there. Because the last couple lives I did on my channel, which you can check out, we can see, right, this guy's doing 500 ads in a night, okay? This guy over here, the Polish top dog of affiliate marketing, right, this Polish kid, freaking 100 creatives a day per offer, right? Like this guy's a monster. So if you really want to make it in affiliate marketing as a media buyer nowadays, the message is pretty clear. You need to be pumping out creative. And again, if you want to do that, you're going to set up your terminal environment correctly, which is why, and I list out a bunch of the software that we package together on Bonfire Terminal, so you can even see it yourself, right? But there's a lot of free open source software here, folks. Look at this. All this software that I've highlighted, it's all in Bonfire Terminal, but it's also all free, okay? Now we're selling Bonfire Terminal for $5,000, but a lot of this stuff, folks, is free. You can talk to AI and create amazing websites that do anything you want, that look amazing, that can do things like this. With just talking to AI. There's nothing holding people back from actually creating a lot of creatives nowadays. And I'm showing it off on my webinars that I do with students. I was showing some of it off on live streams here, but I don't know. I'm going to lean more into stuff like this. Now we're going to go a little bit quicker. We're going to talk about how you define your competitive advantage. Jason talks about this. And folks, if you want to follow along on the link that I'm sharing with all the clips, AI Marketers Club is only $27 one-time payment. If you want to purchase our software, it's $5,000. But AI Marketers Club, to be an affiliate, what we want, I want a lot of people in, I want a lot of people promoting. What we're pushing is offline AI software for marketers. That's the ultimate end goal, and that's where the world's moving. A lot of people don't figure it out yet. I can talk to people till I'm blue in the face to tell them to actually get on Terminal AI, but it's just hard.
Same. And that's the only way they can find a competitive advantage, right? Doing uncompliant shit. So it's definitely gotten harder in that sense, in my opinion.
So if you had to start over today as an affiliate, what would you do to set yourself up not just to make money today, but to make money in 3 years from now?
copywriting. And like if I had to say what one great skill set or who would I partner with, really great copywriters, because to me that's the like, how do you run something that has the same impact as an uncompliant ad, but do it compliantly, right? Like that's the magic of a great copywriter. And to me, that's probably one of the largest skill set differentiators that I see in the space, right?
So what he's saying here is just how important copywriting is as marketers. Copywriting is it's a skill. It's actually a skill to understand how to piece words together, how to be dense, all that stuff. I've put together so if you go to the bottom of my channel, folks, if you know, here on my YouTube channel, you can look at the throwbacks and other random playlists. And I actually have a playlist with a lot of great copywriting. Oh my gosh, how's this? The day. Well, I guess Ronnie's old information is in here, but I have compiled a number of copywriters that are, you know, a couple webinars here and all that stuff. I'm going to share this playlist, The Art of Copywriting, in the chat. This is timeless information. We have a presentation.
The statistic is
another monster affiliate, this guy Carlos Cruz, making millions of dollars a year, living in Dubai. I'm not going to share his socials. He's somewhat private, but this guy's crushing it in multiple different affiliate industries. So we have a lot, and we have another video about. This was a video of Ronnie running a $1,200 a day, making Carlos making $1,200 a day with flashlights. Selling flashlights, folks. You can make thousands of dollars selling other people's flashlights. So there's a lot of good copywriting tips in there, and I absolutely agree with Jason's take on copywriting. Let's go on to the next clip. The $50,000 a month compliance challenge. What is that? This AI needs
in a month thing out that it does to do a 50,000 a month thing, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, all that to say, I think international markets are great. They have complexity on complexity, right? You might be getting cheaper traffic,
But it's not a net positive and scale.
Go try and find a life insurance offer in Hungary, right? Like, might exist, or you might have to make it, which creates much more complexity.
So you're starting a company, like,
right?
So what Jason's saying is, yeah, you know what? International versus US. So I think the question was, do you focus on international traffic or do you focus on US traffic? And Jason is saying there's pros and cons to each, right? You focus on international, you get cheap clicks, fewer offers, okay? You're not going to have legal lead gen offers in Lithuania or in Finland. And that's one of the problems with some of these other markets, but it's also an opportunity, honestly, if you live in another country and you can create an affiliate offer that gets traffic, okay? Now, the positive with going for the US, always said cheap, few offers. Now, US, you have, right, you're competing against everybody and their mother, but it's expensive, lots of offers, plus scale, okay? And this is really important, okay? Scale is really important. US equals scale, okay? And, okay, there we go. So if you even can eke out a small percentage, even if you're just making 10% or 20% day over day on your ad spend, the US, you can just scale that up very fast. It's such a big market. The whole market acts very similarly. And even beyond the US, we have Canada, Australia, New Zealand, which are basically just like, they basically act the same way as the US, let's face it, consumer wise. So that's one of the reasons why, he's saying US for scale. Now that said, I've made a lot of money on international offers as well. Simply doing the same thing that I teach people, which is I would copy ads that are working in the US. And what I was doing was I was advertising in the weight loss space or diet niche. And I would simply copy ads that were working for me in the US. I translated them with Google Translate, and I was able to just crush and make a lot of money internationally. So as you see, that's sort of a hacker sort of approach to affiliate marketing. There's many different ways you can make a lot of money here. Let's go on to the next clip. And the next clip is affiliate marketing creates the best marketers. Absolutely true. I've met all sorts of marketers, brand marketer, a lot of marketers focus on corporate communication, whereas affiliate marketers, it's just purely you, your computer, no advantages, sell the product, make money. Let's see what he has to say about it.
Around it, and I guess it's a whole different kind of hard. But like once you get it going, it's great. But running media and trying to make offers work is another kind of hard, right? Yeah. Like you're basically gambling every single day. And you're like, let's go, new ads, these are gonna crush, right? Yeah. And sometimes they do, most of the times they don't. Right? You're like, damn it, I thought I had that one right. Yeah, the log.
And one of the hard things, I've been teaching people for a quick minute here for like 10 years. And one of the hard things that people are never going to get over is you got to expect to fail. You have to expect to fail. I don't want to fail. I'm scared of dying. People take themselves too seriously. If you want to make it in marketing, if you want to make it in life, you got to be fearless. You got to know your goal and you got to go for it. And when you're launching ads every day, you saw them joking about it. The stereotype is every day an affiliate marketer is waking up and being like, I'm going to launch these ads. They're going to make a lot of money. And more than likely, they're going to fail, right? And this is hard for a lot of people to comprehend because they don't understand the absolute exponential wealth on the other side of that winning campaign. And I've showed you guys the folks making hundreds of thousands of dollars a month or a day. I've been going over these interviews, right? But that's why even if you launch 100 ads and only one of them works, right? That is a win. And you have to take a different mentality when you're working on the internet. You have to have self-control. You have to understand yourself. You have to control your emotions, and you can't be ruled by what other people are necessarily saying. It's just a exponential versus a linear sort of success route. Let's go on to the next clip, which is we're running down the list. We are at clip number 16. We're almost done. We're going to go into maturity in your business journey. Obviously, we can see Jason is, he's old.
I think that's older, as you further along and mature in your journey. I mean, I was 29 when I started in the business. I'm 49 now. So it's, I'm a lot more self-reflective. I'm also a lot more beat up, right? I've had a lot of failures over the years, stuff I've tried or things I've built or stuff I've dumped money into. But that's also what keeps me interested in enjoyable in the space. And I don't think most people think about that at all. I don't think most people think about self-reflection. Yeah. For the most part. I think one of the most powerful things people can do is get a journal and ask themselves an open-ended question every night. Like, what do I want my life to look like in 5 years? if I had this thing, what would it do for me? If I was like, or what sucked about today? What could I have done better today? And journal that stuff and, get into a habit. I don't journal anymore, but I'm very much always in a habit of self-reflection. And I really think that's just one of the most powerful patterns and traits that somebody can have. And
Wolf Warrior, what 49? What? Oh, 49? Oh yeah. Oh, I get what you're saying. Yeah, he's not that old. No, I'm sort of making fun of him. He's older than me, right? But what I think he's saying here is he's saying self-awareness, right? Self-awareness, self-reflection equals important. I think that's a pretty easy statement to get behind. I'm not sure there's anything else to go on that. I'm obsessive about keeping a journal. What I do is, one of the things I think about a lot is that in order to do better in business, you need to become a better business and personal life are linked. Becoming a better person helps you do better in business. I don't know what to say about that, Self-awareness. Yeah, do it. Let's see. The next clip is how he ended up owning an ad agency. I actually don't know about this, so let's hear what he has to say.
Phone. He's like, oh no, you don't remember me, but here's this journey. And the reason I own Tier 11 and the reason I have this podcast is because you helped me as an affiliate starting out in dating, right? And
that's so cool.
That shit just warms my heart, right? The money's great and whatever, but like that stuff is so much more impactful to me.
Fills the cup.
And rewarding, and it sucks when you lose an employee and they were a great employee and you did something on your part that you could have done better to retain them. But you see them be successful, right? And you're like, they came through A4D doors. So.
The mountain metaphor for business. I think these clip titles are whack. What is AI doing here? Okay, let's see.
Aware of that and then move through the process of like unconscious incompetence to conscious incompetence to conscious competence to unconscious competence, right? How do you run through that when you've got this brainwashing that you've had from whatever was in your childhood or could have been through work, right? Like, oh, I ran CBO one time and I lost a bunch of money, so CBO is bad, right? Like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
Like it didn't work for that specific use case in that day, right? And by the way, the algorithms change all the time, so it actually might be the best thing to do next week.
And you're just choosing not to do it.
And you've created a belief, like a deep-seated belief that you're gonna die on that hill. And I think, back to the self-reflection and open-mindedness is like, I can always only give you the best answers based on the knowledge that I have right now, right? No more, no less. I think of that as, have you ever hiked a mountain, like a big mountain?
Yeah.
There's this thing called false peaks, and they're like shelves basically in the mountain. And when you're on this mountain, you look up. That looks like the top of the mountain, right? And you hike up, crest over that peak, and you're like, damn it, there's a whole nother mountain here. Well, that must be the top, right? You continually go through this process. And much the same in life and business, right? Like, all you can do is know what you can see right now from the peak that you can see right now, but there's all kinds of people in this room that are much higher points on the mountain, and they'll just look down and go, yeah, they think they know the things, but there's all these false peaks on the way up, and they don't see all this stuff, right? And they see somebody running really hard, and you know that that's going to be a problem here. As soon as you get over this peak, you're going to realize you're going to run into a dead end. And
Sage wisdom from the godfather of affiliate marketing himself, right? That's life, you know. And what I've seen about the people who succeed in life or fail in life is, yeah, there's always going to be another peak. There's going to be peaks and troughs, right? But the point is, you continually keep moving forward. You don't stop. You know, the samurais, they die facing the enemy, right? Facing the enemy. Vikings, right? They would sail across the entire ocean with only enough food for their trip. Oftentimes not even knowing exactly where they were sailing, but understanding that they will likely die on this journey. Now, if you haven't read the book Beowulf, I suggest you do, okay? Which demonstrates the warrior mentality, which we need to take, which everyone needs to take, which if you're going to join my community, I need you to take. You know, we don't offer like, all this extra, if you join the AA Marketers Club, we don't offer support. If you join my high ticket programs, we give you hands-on, one-on-one mentorship. You can sign, bonfireterminal.com. But, I think the most important point he brought up is this, okay? And this is something I've been teaching to people for a long time, right? These are the stages that we move through in any skill or anything we're learning in life. We always start at unconscious incompetence, being unaware of what skills we need, of our lack of proficiency, of what we don't even know what to do. We don't even know that we're bad. And you have to move through these levels of first, and again, this is self-awareness, right? Of becoming self-aware of how much you suck at copywriting, at staying focused, at managing your time, at putting up, websites, at converting, getting clicks, whatever it is. And then we move towards conscious incompetence, where we start getting good at it because we're self-aware that we're bad, and then finally up to where we just naturally can pump out stuff, right? And that comes from experience. Let's go through these final clips here. We have 2 more clips, folks. If anybody wants to share, my AI created a ton of video creatives that you can share of this that are unique if you find this interesting, if you want to spread the good word. Let's go into this final clips, and
I think the more that you can walk into any room, confidence is an interesting thing just in general, right? I think the more difficult situations you put yourself in, the harder things you can do, right? The bigger businesses you can build, right? You build a small one, you fail at it, you succeed at it. Maybe you fail at 10 of them and then you succeed at one. And you do that self-reflection process and those learnings. And that builds more and more confidence over time to do bigger and bigger things, take bigger and bigger risks. And I think the same is true with travel. Like, show up in a country. The most difficult country for me ever was Beijing. I flew into Beijing. And, for the most part, up until then, I'd flown all to countries that had Latin-based languages.
Yeah.
So, I could be like, oh, here's where we're going to go. They'd understand the letters. And, I landed in Beijing, and I'd get in a taxi, and I'd try to talk to the guy. He's got no idea what I said. Nobody speaks English in Beijing at all. And I'm like, oh, shoot. I got to get to the hotel. How am I going to make this happen, right? And it's just like, and depending on who you are, how do you handle that situation in that moment? Do you call home and say, I don't know what to do, right? And for me, I'm like, so I just instantly put on my problem-solving hat. And I'm like, does my phone, can I put it in Chinese language? Yeah, I can. So then I figured out, I'd search for the hotel in English. Then I'd go in and I'd change the language to Chinese, and I could show him it, and it would be in Chinese. I
I think he's just saying, put yourself in difficult situations, right? If you're seeking out the easy road in life, right, you're not going to do big things. It is good to hedge your bets, but let's go on to this final clip of Jason Archetypes. Work harder than everyone. Work harder than everyone. First off, I love this already. But let's see what he has to say.
It's very refreshing for at least for some time to just see it and hear it from a different lens,
Yeah. It's always, one of the things that's weird to me is like, I'll go to Europe and then like everything's going on in Europe and you're like there in the moment, part of that. And then you go home and almost to me, it's like, that's not happening anymore, but it's all still happening, right? Like you're not experiencing it. It's almost like you think it's not happening, but it is.
It's just magnified and amplified when you're in it.
When you're physically. In it, yeah. And that's all the world, right? Like so much happening in Thailand. There's so much happening in Japan.
We don't even know about or think about.
Like,
it's so interesting.
And it also a lot of times gives you different perspectives. Again, we're the U.S., myopic, nationalistic. But then you go see an amazing product in Tokyo and you're like, why don't we have this here, right? Like, it gives you, you just see different things and consume them. It makes you more open-minded and just makes you realize you know less than you even thought you did.
Which is so cool.
The little that you thought you did, you know even less than that.
Jason, what hope and advice do you have for the industry as a whole? Going forward into this next phase, TCPA, all the complications, the challenges.
It's not really a hope, but to me, this industry, at least the doers in it, it breeds great people, and I think they'll always find a way. The new SEC 1-to-1 ruling stuff. Like I said, when I started, there was no canned spam. When canned spam came, it was like, nobody can email anymore, right? You're like, no, it doesn't work like that. We can, and then the industry figures it out. And I think the people that are like the core of this industry are really resourceful people. I have a constant hope that people will try and do things more compliantly. In marketing and everything is inherently in the gray, right? And it's just like, is it in the black or is it like totally in the white branded campaign? But even that sometimes has problems, right? Yeah. And I think where that line is in the bulk of what's going on in the industry, I do feel like we've made some progress, more towards the lighter gray. But then every once in a while something comes around like ACA and it goes heavy back into the black, right? And I think that's the inherent opportunity seeker nature of the business. And, a lot of the younger generation, the 20-somethings that I remember when I started in this business, I didn't never talk to I didn't have any money to talk to an attorney. I was just trying to figure out how to make $1, right? And, as you progress and learn more stuff, you get legal advice and start to understand where those rules are. And my hope is always people come through that or whatever that is and figure out how to build bigger and better things compliantly, whether it's for this industry or other industries. I said it on stage many years ago. I think this business creates the best marketers in the world.
You have to be good. Yeah. There's no room to just throw up ads and cross. We do that, but it's not sustainable. Right? Yeah. Is there a quote or idea that you live by that you want to share?
I'm a huge fan of Jim Rohn. Jim Rohn was Tony Robbins' mentor. And he said, work harder on yourself than you do in your job. And then that pairs with another quote of his that says, you're rewarded by the value you bring to the marketplace. So the more you self-reflect, the more you learn, the harder challenges you take on, the bigger things you build, the more value you bring to the marketplace, and inherently should be able to create businesses that make more money or partner with better people or whatever that is. So I really take that to heart. I think a lot of people that get into this business do it to chase money. And the money will come and the money will go. But the skill sets that you gain and who you become through the process of the journey and how you self-reflect on that and how you grow, is really kind of my core operating principle.
That's awesome.
Yep.
How can people connect with you?
I'm on Instagram, Jason Active, and Facebook, and Twitter, and all the things. You always just email me at jason@a4d.com. I love to talk to people. I love smart people. I love it when somebody's like, I figured this thing out, but I don't know how to scale it. Like that's one of my favorite places to be.
Yeah.
Because that's really what I focus on now is how do we take something that's working and rather than do 100,000 a month, do 5 million a month. Mostly what I'm looking for.
So absolutely great interview, in my opinion. I think that was baller. Jason is an absolute stud. I encourage you guys to go subscribe to John Casto's channel. Thank you, John, for doing this interview. And I think it's proof that, you know, this guy's only got 11,000 subscribers. That video only got a few thousand views, less than 2,000 views. And I think it's just proof that some of the best, smartest, most real and raw advice. I mean, Jason is not, as you see, he's not pitching anything. He has no ulterior motive in doing this interview there. And, you know, it's not going to be seen on the internet, which is one of the reasons why I'm trying to get out there and just get more views to what I feel is important information that folks are obviously missing out on. I almost think there's, and guys, throw down some reactions, throw down some likes, help me with the algorithm or whatever. But, you know, I actually think the things that have the most views are probably the worst information. And we're going to see a lot of people lose their jobs. Anybody working on the computer is going to be replaced by people who are using terminal AI. So, you know, I'm trying to spread the word here, trying to slowly, without talking too much about terminal AI, get people to see the light and understand the shift that needs to happen in order for you to be relevant in the marketplace in the next few years. Because what folks don't realize is folks say, yeah, it's all slop, it's this, it's that. It's like, look at where the puck is going, folks. Look at where the puck is going. Don't look at where we are today. Look at where we are in a year from now. Upskill yourself. Make lots of money. Have lots of kids. Build a legacy. Be self-aware. Work on yourself. Right? And I've always had success because I've always focused on working harder than anybody else. You know, I play hard. And, you know, I work hard. You know, I do both. But work harder on yourself than you do on your job. I think that was great advice. Thank you, everyone, for coming in today. And I will be continuing these. I will be scheduling these out for next week. A new batch of interviews. Guys, there's so many videos with top affiliate marketers that are getting like no views. It's insane. You know, these are folks, and yet there will be interviews with startup founder, rich kids who had all the connections in the world and rich parents and, you know, went to good colleges, and their stories are being shown and getting millions of views, right? What I want to see the 22-year-old Polish, you know, chunky kids who are making millions of dollars a month, baby, right? That's what I want to see in this world. And I hope you do too, or I hope you want to become one of those. And if you want to join me along on this journey, guys, join the AI Marketers Club. I do 2 webinars every single week where I'm showing people AI, I'm showing people, you know, affiliate marketing. So we have 2 live webinars every week where it's me on my computer showing people these things, doing it with people, even taking control of people's computers. That's my favorite thing, when people allow me to just take full control of their computer and post ads or create landing pages for them. So join the club if you're interested. If you want one-on-one mentorship in affiliate marketing, you can go to bonfireterminal.com. We'll install the software for you, set it up, and allow AI to do your work for you. Create ads, create images, create videos, edit videos, post websites, create websites, you know, post ads, write ads, everything simply by installing it on your computer, then talking to it however you like. Telegram, Discord, WhatsApp, Slack, phone call, SMS, right? You can have your AI doing video editing with the videos on your computer and posting them as ads on Facebook if you understand how to work with AI, right? So, folks, I'm going to keep coming on here. I look forward to seeing you soon. I will see you next week. All the best, folks. Bye. And affiliates, repost those clips. Guys, those are all unique clips. Nobody's posted them yet. It's a good opportunity. So, see ya. Bye.